All right. Next question is looking at branching out from client projects and try my hand at lead gen and ecom, but have a surplus of domains from over the years. Based on your experience, is parking domains a good monetization strategy? I don't know. I've never parked domains, so I can't answer that. The only thing I've ever done with domains that I'm not using, or that that have just been in my account, which I've got dozens and dozens and dozens of them now, is I will use them as, kind of like PBN style sites. I don't build PBNs anymore, but every now and then will use something for kind of a buffer site for really more testing purposes than anything. And I've also, the first money I ever made online was from flipping domains. But I only did that a handful of times before I realized that I could make a lot more money by developing the domain first before flipping it, right? So, or developing it and then renting it, which is how I got started in rank and rent when I first started in lead gen and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know about parking domains. I can't imagine it's a very lucrative strategy of any kind, but does anybody here have any comments on that? Parking domains?
Sorry about that. I was muted, man. It's not something I do. It's not something that that I can give them much guidance on. Although, if you have a very old domain, the domain age could help, but it'll have more to do with like what you've been doing, maybe with that park domain. Is it just, does it have that generic page from the host that it is a park domain, or does it have some use that? Does it have any history? That's why if you're going to do that, you're better off buying an expired domain with a good backlink profile that's going to get you power immediately, because that park domain, if you're not giving it any power, there's really nothing there other than the history of it being parked forever and doing nothing.
Yeah, and so when I mentioned some of the times that I've used domains for kind of like feeder type sites, not necessarily PBNs, not in the traditional sense, but there's another question further down I saw earlier. It was talking about, so hopefully we'll get to that, was asking about using like WP Robot or something for auto blogging. And that's where I have, and still to this day, will build sites occasionally as like feeder type sites that are, I guess, somewhat kind of like PBN sites, but they're auto blog sites that are populated with content from from various sources, which is what we teach, like, for example, with Syndication Academy or multi-tiered syndication networks. We always talk about, if you're going to be using a multi-tiered syndication network for blog syndication, right, to promote your money site blog posts, then on the second tier syndication networks, we talk about adding in additional content, relevant content source, content RSS feeds, because then you can auto populate those syndication network sites just like you could a domain, right? A domain that you're not using. You could set up essentially auto blog type sites that have relevant content all about a particular topic or within a particular topical theme. And then you can auto syndicate your own content to that, so long as it's mixed and buried in that. But again, you still got to remember, guys, you have to know how to hide your footprint when you're doing that, because that's a linking scheme, and Google's algorithm is very, very good at being able to pick up on that now. It's crazy. That's why I just don't really bother with that kind of stuff anymore, because we found, how to do it with Google's own properties with their SEO shield method. So it's a good question, but typically, like I said, I do some auto blogging stuff still to this day, and we're doing some testing now for a product that we're going to be talking a lot more about in the coming months. I actually just had a call with the developer today about that. So that's coming soon. We're going to be talking more about some really industrial strength auto blogging platform. But other than that, I would focus on something that's going to produce better money for you now.